Can I have your attention, please?
No.
If we want to start, let's kick things off now, so that you wouldn't be late to your holy dinner. Does it work? Thank you. Actually, the topic was effective ways of teaching grammar, but I am no an expert. I am expert, but not in grammar. That's why it's going to be only my thoughts. How I reached that, Mr. Sarbasov, he gave topics to some of us on the previous holidays, and during this term I read a couple textbooks, not all of them of course, a bunch of articles, videos, seminars, and all that I want to share with you is going to be today on this board. First of all, I'd like to go to the changes which happened to grammar 30 years ago and 15 years ago. Do you know any major changes, global changes that come to your mind? One is 30 years ago and one is 15 years ago, approximately, which changed, bumped the grammar, the teaching of grammar. Any ideas?
I don't know if it so in grammar was changed, but for example, will and shall maybe.
You didn't quite get my idea actually. The changes which were made to the teaching of grammar, to methods, maybe, not the content.
Changes in technology.
Translation method.
Can you be specific, with a global change?
For example, before, when we studied languages, not we, but our fathers and mothers maybe, they were just sitting and listening.
Yeah, that's what you're coming to the point.
Teacher was explaining, but now we use some active boards and also videos from internet maybe.
That's what?
It's a big change.
That's a big change, yes. What is that? Video, internet, what is that?
Technology.
Technology, thank you. And that technology thing burst 15 years ago. That's the second. Okay, thank you very much. The first thing, which was which arose approximately 30 years ago and changed our approach nowadays. Can you predict or say?
For example, in the past it was grammar translation method.
Yes, this is about methods. In the past, it was grammar translation method. Today, all the things are kind of combined to one method. Which one is that?
Technology based. No?
Yes, kind of communicative approach. Yes, communicative approach. I know that this is all method stuff and we don't like it, but let's just communicative approach. Let's just look at some points of advantages of communicative approach. When we use today communicative approach, we focus on meaning, not on the form. The same example, grammar translation method. It was structure, form, you know this, then you know grammar, and kind of you know English. No, that's old school. Today, meaning. So as Miss Burakoja, she said, if someone doesn't understand something, you go until he or she gets that meaning, even if you spend a lot of time. Yeah, you can all the time continue your learning process out the class with communicative approach. What about previous methods? They weren't quite like this, yes? Today we can still do it. We have a lot of things, a lot of activities out of the classroom. That's super engaging. All of the things we are learning now, all can be combined into communicative approach. Imagine today you come into the class and year 1990s, you open your copybooks, please, present, simple. This is structure, please make 2 sentences, okay, 5. This wouldn't be engaging. This is not engaging and no one will like it. No students will like it. Yeah, this is one of the things which I like most, student-centered. On the other hand, previous approaches were all kind of teacher-centered and authority-centered. Like only what I say is right, but today, no, everyone can be right. I mean, not everyone can be right. It's not about right or wrong thing. It's about your opinion and how you support it. And teamwork, which is, again, pair work, group work, groups of 2, groups of 4, 3, and etc. And the second thing, thank you, that was technology. Do you recognize what is this? No. Yeah, this is first Macintosh. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, so let's quickly have a look at technology. What did it give us? It is resources. Again, internet, you can approach wherever you want. You can go to any device you want. Resources everywhere. This is an easy thing, of course. Autonomous learning, that's, you know the idea, yes? That makes the learning of English, the learning of any language, independent. You can still continue learning using the technology. Again, that's engaging. Yes, bring one, I don't know, iPad Pro with Apple Pen. Is it Apple Pen or iPen? I don't remember. To the class, and like everyone will, oh, teacher, the iPad, can I? Etc. Makes it easy. Really, this enlightens our work. I think that it helps, like, I don't know, like a bunch of work does technology for us, and again, immediate feedback. The same, like EduPage we use, Edmodo, all this stuff gives you immediate feedback, which you would spend a lot of time in the past checking it, then digesting the data, but today it's easier. Okay, and before we start to the seminar itself, I have here like, I guess 15 questions actually. They are connected to grammar, and we have 8 people here. You can take one, you can take 2, and this would be your question to speak about in the end of the session, 1 or 2 minutes to give your opinion, to share about it. You can just come up and take 1 or 2, minimum 1, please. Any color, anything, you don't see the questions, just give it a go. If you think you can handle more than 1, please take 2. If you don't think, that's not a problem. Maybe when you get ready, you think like, oh, I'm ready, I can now take the second one, that's it. And please don't change that. This is your destiny. That was planned. All right, and before I start again, let me tell that we have grammar 2 sessions tomorrow in the morning, again with me, unfortunately, and today is going to be a theoretical session, maybe a little bit boring, so sleepings are accepted. Tomorrow, practical session, which is, I hope, will be more fun. Okay, let's just kick off. As I said, I didn't get full into this grammar teaching thing because I'm not an expert. And I collected from the resources, from books, from internet somewhere, 20 sorted things, tips, which may be useful for you, which are useful for me now because I when I research, now I use it and I see that they are useful, okay? And you'll be happy like this, folks. Give precise instructions, surprise your students, make grammar entertaining, plan your lesson, use only target language, bridge the gap between understanding and using the grammar, balance the communication and the language focus, integrate the 4 skills, including lexic, pronunciation, speaking, writing, etc. Confident. This is not what we're going to talk about. This is not the thing, because all of this thing, you know, like make it entertaining. Yeah, every time someone tells you about grammar, like grammar, yeah, it's boring, but it's your class. You can make it interesting. Like just do something. Like And like, use only target language. When you're explaining grammar, if he doesn't understand, act it out. If he doesn't understand, like, make a picture. If he doesn't understand, play a song. These things are in your mind, like using 4 skills. Teaching grammar is not only writing and reading. Yes, use the 4 skills. Use listening, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. This was all before today's date in your minds. So let's start. And not the main, but first tip is asking questions rather than telling. As we mentioned before, yesterday, guys, I'm sorry I forgot to mention that these 20 things are like the most important 20 things ever. Like, if you know these 20 things, your grammar lessons will be very funny, very nice, very interesting. Okay? Before, we used to tell everything. We come here, a teacher is an information collector, an information holder, and he, like, as a full bottle, pours into an empty glass. Yes? Today, previously we used to do it. But today, asking questions, eliciting, taking out the information from students is a better thing to do. Why?
Maybe they will come up with that grammar.
They will come up with that grammar?
Like, I mean, for example, when I have this kind of grammar lessons, I usually start asking the questions like, what did you do yesterday? So they say, I do like this one.
Yes.
So I ask them what? They say, what did you do yesterday? I went, blah, blah, blah, so like this one.
Clearly, that's exactly. When I just come here and give you information, everything goes like, oh yeah, that's the same monotonous thing, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. But when you drill, when you give a question like to that lady which is playing with her smartphone, like asking questions, what did you do yesterday? And the student feels like he should answer, and he like remembers, he tries to remember what was the topic about. Was it past simple? And he at least does something. He gives you reaction. She gives you reaction, but not in the way like grammar like present tense is used in blah blah blah blah. Write it down. Well, that's old school. Again, no one does it, and you probably, I hope you don't do it. You shouldn't do it if you are doing it, because taking out from students, that's the better option for the students himself and for other students who are in that class. And that's the first tip. Yes, you may take notes if you want, because these 20 things are like digested, sorted, like perfect 20 things. Can you guess what's the next tip is going to be about?
Students they don't understand.
Sleeping your free today.
Kind of.
This is student or teacher?
This is student. It's not a teacher. And Zalic, maybe, I don't know, someone, or Mr. Leonardo, I don't know, who sees everything which you're doing it again and again and again. Guys, for students, that's enough. If you do everything again and again. Let me give you an example. It can be examples, it can be topics, it can be your voice, it can be the activities. But the example which I like the most is like grouping students. Like let's face the truth. Like till this year's seminar, maybe or last year's seminar, not all of the teachers use this technique of grouping, yes, of communicative approach. Like everyone was sitting, like most of the classes were arranged in the usual way, and no one like hardly tried to put students together, maybe sometimes. But today when I go to my school, all of the teachers, like from seminar, everyone has its certificate, like, and other students which are not from KTF, and every class you walk in and you see these tables like around 4, and every time students come, they sit like, I'm not in this group, and in this group, okay, divide, you write this, you write this. Every day they write something on the paper, like decide which one is your, like, it's happening for months, and the students are, I don't know, for me that's very, very bad, and if I were in that situation, I wouldn't like it. I would want to like stand up and, can we sit in another way? Maybe we arrange it in another way. Every day that's the same. For example, let me give you, I hope I have it here. This is just a novel, The English Teacher. I started it, but I didn't finish because this is a novel and it tells about some kind of love story, etc. Peter's group was ignoring him, the teacher. Like, there are groups, and Peter's group was ignoring the teacher. The truth was, even when he wasn't ignored, Peter's group was ignoring Peter. Okay, Peter's group was ignoring Peter. The truth was, even when he wasn't ignored, he didn't contribute much to group work. Group work was just a way for teachers to get another free period. Sometimes it's correct for us. Like, you're grouping and you work like 5, 7, I give you like 7, okay, 10 minutes I give you, and you sit and play Snapchat or Instagram, something. That's the thing I like. Actually, when you are giving like group work, you should decide. You should like control. If you cannot control, you shouldn't think of making group work, yes? You should control everyone. Are they having part? Are they participating? Are they doing something or not? And followed by next quote from the same book. By this time of year, Mr. Hathaway, who was a teacher, had given up the pretense of visiting each group. You know this, like, are you speaking? Like, you do, sometimes you still pretend, like, so that your students would feel that they are being controlled, but you are not actually listening to them. You're just like, you're doing it. Yes. By this time, he had given up the pretense of visiting each group, listening with fake interest, and moving on. Now he just worked at his desk, remembered himself, maybe, scratching out illegible marks at the bottom of each of their take-home test from last week. When he looked up suddenly, that guy, Peter, turned back to his group and nodded. Yep. This is actually the same thing which most of teachers face now. So please, that's why this is about group work, because I really felt that in my school. Not only English teachers, other teachers. Again, please don't use that too much. And try to rearrange the seats, redecide the activity type, the communication type which you want to use, according to the things you want to teach that day. Because every day when it comes the same, even you will be bored. Tip number 3, your students as examples. All of these books, very nice solutions, I don't know, grammar, blah, blah, blah, they have very, very good examples. But wherever you see them, they are like Mary, Peter, I don't know, someone, somewhere you can find Ayşe, somewhere, I don't know. But no Boranbay or no Botagos, I don't know, no one. But I felt it myself. When I started using my students' names as examples, they immediately, 7th and 8th grades especially, immediately their attention focuses at you, like, Arman Kushurbayev, and he's doing something cannot be seen at night because he is black, like this, yes? And that really helps. When you wake up and you choose the student which is doing something. I don't remember, Saltanat? Saltanat is blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. And immediately, teacher is looking at me actually. He's not just explaining to the walls, yes? And this, I know that you are doing it, but do it more. You will see that it will help. And when picking up the examples, try to don't hurt your students again, but give the thing which will entertain them. Maybe a joke, maybe a fact which they thought the teacher didn't know, but I knew that because my tutor told me that Arman yesterday until 12 o'clock he watched a football match via his phone, and they think I don't know it. Arman watched yesterday the football match. I'm like, oh my God, how does Mr. Asham goes? And it goes like this, and everyone, you grab their attention. That's a very nice hint, actually. Kind of the same, but tip number 4, link, connect the examples to students' lives. kind of the same, but you can take it further. Not only in this class, yes? You know that Abay, for example, does something outside the class. You tell it, you write it, you show it, and like the child again feels that he is special. When you put the name of child, one of our teachers in SDU, Camila, you know him, Yusuf, he's a great teacher. He told once that the most enjoyable song, and Ayan knows, the most enjoyable song to the student is their names. Kind of this. The thing they enjoy listening to are their names. When you call their name, when you write it, when you make them feel that they are special and they are not forgotten. Thank you. They're not forgotten. They actually get back to the track. Okay. Tip number 5. Yeah, review. Again, the previous teacher told that some people, like writing, take one writing, then just no chances, give them away, the mark. No, please, especially in grammar, you should review that. Minimum the next lesson. You introduce present perfect, next lesson, before starting present perfect negative, you should review present perfect positive. That's how the things go. If you don't, you are not putting them in that track again. You're not putting them in the track. They came from physical education. They're sitting and they're waiting what will happen. Like, again, yesterday is present perfect. Yesterday was positive. Like, what's that? And before they retain themselves, you will lose time. You will become nervous. You don't like it. You do not need it. And please review as much as they need again. So that you wouldn't face this thing. I think all of us told it. I told it several times, I remember. Like last week was past simple, and you come next week present perfect and say, what did you do yesterday? Come on, you didn't show me your homework. You didn't do? Maksat, we taught it. We passed it last week. Yes, you tell it every day. So that you wouldn't face it, please review. Oh, not PPAP, but PPP. I think most of us know what PPP stands for. Pen, pineapple, no. First,
presentation, practice, through
production. We studied it maybe in the second year, I don't quite remember each year in methods, and we kind of forget it. But when you look back at this thing, actually it is the structure, the skeleton which it should go, which it should follow, the grammar lessons especially. Presentation in any way, which your students like, which you can do. Practice, like teacher previous said, like you make them stand up, say something, practice. Then production. Sometimes teachers do backwards. Like, when you were passing the exam to the school, there were 2 questions on prepositions. That's why you should know it. So tell me this preposition, but he didn't present it. And he expects students to talk and do something, to produce something. That's not going to work with grammar. Yeah? Any guesses for next tip?
context.
Ms. Akshafat. Thank you. Thank you.
Second.
This is the thing which I made mistake a lot of when I was practicing not in Katel. Avoid discussing grammar aspects out of context. Like you're teaching vocabulary, like handsome for men and beautiful for women, and say handsome, like for example, Abba is handsome, but Ghalam is more handsome and Ayan is the most handsome. What teacher? You don't know it. This is comparative, more and you change your track. You are discussing grammar out of that context. You are flipping from one thing to another. That's you will make their life, their learning process mixed. That will be a mess, a total mess. We thought that we were learning grammar, teacher. Like, what's the thing you're again? Yeah, that's okay, but don't overfill us with information. As if they want to shout to you. So please.
Should we avoid this kind of things?
Yes, avoid jumping from something like from reading passage, from listening, which is not focused on grammar. You see one grammar point, and you see that some of them don't know it, and you immediately start to doing it. Like this is maybe human, yes. Like when you go to the dining hall, and someone is new to the school, and he comes like where I should like, and you see that he doesn't know, and you want to help. Yes, come. You take this thing here, and then you take. For example, yes, that's human. You want to help, but with grammar, it's not going to work.
So either way, they will just avoid. Then adding the other grammar. Yeah, as I understood.
Yes, you take note. Like you see that while teaching vocabulary, they have difference with comparatives. You put it down, then you can take that students maybe out of the lesson, or you can do an extra lesson with comparatives backup. Yeah? Because when you jump from one thing, that's a mess. I don't know which tip number, but this is my favorite actually. Like you explain things, and then some of them don't understand, and see it like, Islam told us in seminar that we should give time for themselves to discover grammar, and like just maybe sit and relax. We give time for them to discover grammar. But nevertheless it works. Maybe you remember your process of acquiring grammar. Just go back for a sec, and you will, I think you will come to the memory where you, like 9th grade, you couldn't quite get that, or 7th grade, you were an Olympiad maybe student, and you wanted to study advanced, but you couldn't get it. Why? Because you're still like, and you give time, you are tolerant, yourself time, and then by time you acquire it. This worked for me, and I faced it in a lot of sources. And they say, don't forget to do it. Don't expect them to immediately work out something. For Mr. Ayan, it's okay, 1 lesson. I don't know. For Abai, 2 lessons. For other, 5 lessons, 10 lessons.
So how do you do this in practice?
This is hard to control, yes. But what I want to say here, don't stress them. Don't put pressure on them. Like, you see, all other students are good at this because we actually learned it last term. All others are in the second book, but you are still in that book. Don't do that, please. When you put that pressure, when you don't give them time, because some students really need time. They are studying, maybe. They understand that this is important for them, and you give them time. You don't limit their time. Like, okay?
Do we need to repeat that unit again?
This is more about giving them time to come up with it. For example, it's not about marks, it's not about exam. Yes, 9th grade, everything is good, but past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous. You are like you're having trouble. Past perfect continuous. 9th grade. You know that next year he will again face it, but next level he will face it again. So give him time. Don't tell him or her like, come on. You should finish it until this time. Come on, what are you?
Give you time during the lesson.
No, not during the lesson. Out of the lesson to come to it by himself. Ladies, tip number which, Miss Altanat? I don't remember. But can you guess? No, this is not a tip. This is just an example. Like, again, they can have other things for them to do. Yes, if you don't give them time, because one student may be busy with a bunch of other things. He may be an Olympiad student, he may be doing that, he may be alone in the house. And pushing them, giving them pressure, putting the pressure on them is not the best opportunity. So that you wouldn't face the situation, like, more important there, you should give him time for doing his stuff, for pumping his muscle. Then, with time, he will come to it, I hope. Yeah, this is very easy to say, to guess. Yes, games. Not, of course, Counter-Strike, but this is easy thing, but we all know that. But I couldn't miss it, couldn't pass it. Telling you again, like, gamification in the grammar, using games in the activities is maybe the most effective way of teaching grammar. Which activities, which games, the samples we are going to see in the next session. Today, just games. Don't forget, grammar, gamificate it. Gamificate it. Any kind, anything, like out of papers, paper balls, out of nothing, air balls, I don't know. Just, they will be willing. They will be willing to learn when you hear like, okay. Do you know these characters? Fight Club.
What?
Fight Club. Chuck Palahniuk. Everyone told me, like, watch this film or read this book, and then I recently watched this film, and that's okay, but not so. But it has a very good rating. In that film, if you remember, this guy tells, like, first rule, you don't speak no one about Fight Club. Second rule, you don't speak no one about Fight Club. So, rules. Don't exaggerate. Don't overgive them rules. When you're teaching grammar, rule number 1, present simple. It is used with things we'll never change. Rule number 2, rule number 3. There is also an exception. Rule number 1, rule number 5. Like, go on, overload, and they're like, whoa, how many rules should I? But except of using that word, rule, maybe say like, I get gamificated as you want, and present it in the way that they are ready to accept. Like, there was an example when you at home have only potatoes and onions, and every day you are a student, you come, you like, cut the potatoes, put it in the pan, and come on guys, we are eating tomorrow again, the same thing again, fried potatoes with onion, fried potatoes. No, you can mash the potatoes. You can roast the potatoes. You can, I don't know, make cheese, yes? Like, when you present the thing in other ways, they like it. Everyone likes it. This is the picture I wanted to put because he's crashing. We know his name. Grammar may not help and may even hurt. This guy. No. This is an example to previous tip. Like when you overload them with rules. Stephen Krashen, which crashed, said grammar may even hurt when you overload it, or when you think that grammar is the core thing of English. Yeah. This guy is you know this guy, yes? Yeah, if he said that, I mean, he knows better than us, than me. I like it. Make it easier. I think most of us know this film. And any tip that comes to your mind?
Don't give up.
Work individually.
Closer.
Understand student.
Draw.
Imagination.
Combine.
Creativity.
Work
Add.
individually using the imagination.
Yes, but is he a normal guy?
No.
He's
Be extraordinary.
which leads to everyone is extraordinary and everyone has his ways to be taught and mind multiple intelligences. We've Like, yeah, multiple theory, that's Howard Gardner, we know that. NSP taught us, I know, 8 multiple theory. Kinetic, audible, visual, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. Do you use it actually? Try it. Like, when I have like 27 people in my class and I don't know who to come up to, like, who to come and explain during the class, you really have a mess in your head. But you can start with, if you had the problem like me, because I had, just spoil one who is having difficulty. Start with the worst one. Start with him, invite to office hour, sit down, learn him, what he likes, ask his tutor, ask his teacher, ask his friends, blah, blah, blah, ask the other teachers what is he like in the lesson. And then meet with him, scan him, and look at him in the other perspective. I mean, already in the other perspective. Then you will know how to approach him. And approach him on that very place, on that very time. And then you will see that you will have a result. He will be better, he will find his track, and he will continue. Then the other one by one. Because when you have 27 people, like in Astana, you cannot like every day for Sultanat, like dance, for Abai, I don't know, singing, for Ghalam, like do physical exercise, like something. You cannot do it during the lesson, everything. Start one by one from the worst, which I actually do. Don't forget it, because that's very important, because it's in my top 20. This is an example support. This book was sent to Ustaz PLC. Yes. Anyone read it? Okay, I see. We understand the process of human thought much better than we once did. We are not rational calculating machines, but collections of modules, each programmed to be a droid, very good, skillful, at a particular set of tasks. Not everyone learns most effectively in the same way. Sport from Daniel King. This is my private example, personal example. I would like to share with you. I don't remember. 2 years ago, maybe when I was like, just practicing in some place in Almaty. I was teaching to a group of students aged 15, girls and boys. The comparison going to and will. Before that, they were introduced will and going to. They practice blah blah blah blah. Again, there are always some people like who are sitting in the back. Teacher, I don't know. Like again, you see these people. Like not maybe in Qatar, but in some private places. And I was telling them there is one basic thing. Going to is about decisions you make. Decisions. Will is spontaneous actions. Decisions, spontaneous actions. And everyone was, yes. Understand? And that guy over there, he like, no. Why? Decisions, spontaneous. He was very smart and he gave me this answer. But Mr. Efem, none of my decisions are spontaneous, he said. And I was like, what to tell to him? You say that decisions, spontaneous actions. And he said, he's approaching to you in another way. He's showing that he doesn't want to learn something. Yes? And this is a sign for you that this method, this thing that you're explaining, decisions, spontaneous, is not going to work for him. And you should find another way. Because that smart guy or smart girl will do anything so that...
Did you find another way?
I left that place, unfortunately. That was last classes. But I should call the teacher and ask what's happening with him now. One thing at a time. This is also maybe close to not mixing things. One thing at a time. Usually we, like, present simple. 7th grade, September. I'm sorry, present continuous. I'm doing now. This is what I'm doing. Yes, right now. The same thing. But there is another which is global. but this is after that, but okay, but this is present simple. No, stop. That day is one, the first step, then the second, then the third, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. Again, the easiest example, like when you're building a house, like you make the fundament, the basement, you make the basement, and you wait until it dries. If you continue, that will be disaster. So, one by one, step by step. We know actually all of the things, but maybe we don't apply it during the grammar. Maybe we don't quite get the importance, the significance. Don't look at this, but you are explaining grammar, presenting grammar, and you are using like advanced level words with 8th graders or 9th graders, I don't know. And this you want to show that you are a teacher and I have 7 or 8. I know I teach not only you. I taught this. I had a certificate. Yeah, you want, but make it simple for them because your goal there is to present grammar. And if you use their complex vocabulary, he wants to get one thing, but he drifts into another one. What was that word which is ubiquitous? He said ubiquitous. Ubisoft, ubiquitous, what's that? And he changed the track. Yeah? So don't be like Eminem, use easy vocabulary. What's that? Yes. Maybe for I know you are all professionals already, like nice experts, trainers, but there will be again some students or some situations where you should tell the detail, the exception, the something, yes. And if you don't, today is present perfect. I know this before started and it still continues now. I know it. But when it comes to teacher, how do we differentiate present perfect and past simple? Can you tell? You knew it, but you kind of forget it because you didn't prepare before. This helps. I used to skip it, but I'm still most of the time I skip it. But when I feel that this is the thing which I should look back again, I do it now because I want myself to take into guarantee. Yeah, one of my favorite all the time. Present the best you can do, the best thing you have. Like, take a moment, think about what do I do the best. Someone sings the best. Someone plays one musical instrument the best. Someone plays football the best. Someone plays table tennis the best. And how can you integrate that thing in your class? Because if you're good at it, like you can, why not? Why not use it here? Like I've seen the teacher, like maybe that's okay with Ketel for boys, like who is playing a ball and like explaining something, I don't know, with physics. And so think about what you have, what you can do. Very nice. How can you surprise them? Not all the grammar lessons should be surprised again, but using this, that will turn into the most effective result. That's just an example, because most of teachers actually there was a scientific research in Finland. I know that this is very boring about research, but again, in Finland, of some kind of university, they found that most of the teachers, 80-90%, they suffer from OGS. And English teachers, especially. English teachers. Do you know what's OGS?
Over something sleepy.
No, this is just a teacher which is... Okay, that may be new for you, but... so that you shouldn't face this grammar syndrome. When you say yourself grammar, you just surprise. Again, of course, when you come to your students say, okay, students, today we're going to learn grammar, which is past participle, blah, blah, blah. They will also be shocked and they will also be like, backed. Like, no, this is my syndrome, this is my illness, I don't want to look at it. Teacher, can I go? Because I'm like, that's why, be careful. I hope we are finishing. Next tip. Please.
Visuals.
No.
Cartoons.
The name?
Toy Story.
Yeah. Stop it. Again, that's unbelievably helpful. Last time there was Maman, right? He like presented a very nice way of introducing a story. And whenever you do that, or other story, or you just read it sitting here, or you just again switch off the lights and read them a lullaby. I don't know. A story is one of your powerful guns. I don't know. What can you call it? Not all of the lessons of grammar, but again, he was presenting us grammar. Yes, he was presenting us grammar that time. If you show how can you present even grammar can be presented in a story. You know story. Usually I used to use the story when I'm not prepared for lesson. Before, when I wasn't working in KTL, I'm not prepared for lesson. And do I have really stories? When I was in high school, I read a bunch of Turkish nice stories. Maybe I read them. Yes, I read them. Today, okay, close your books. Today is a story. Oh, come on, everyone sits down on the floor. We're listening to you, blah, blah, blah. That's, yes, for killing time, that's helpful. But never forget that you can actually edit it. You can be flexible enough to present a grammar topic via story. What is this? Where did you see this? Yeah, apples. Did you say apple?
Siri.
Yes, Siri. And what does Siri do? Siri, yes, is maybe the only thing which does this and this in the same time. Siri speaks and writes to you. Like when you are in everyday life, when you are communicating with like someone, do they like, yes, of course, please. They don't do it, but oral and written, Siri does. That's why this feature is here. Never mind. Grammar shouldn't be presented only in oral way. That's maybe the biggest mistake teacher can do. Do you remember present perfect? Even if they were introduced before. Do you remember present perfect? Yes. 3 things. Which are the things? First is this, second this. Please write. Show them. When you are showing them, they see and they can concentrate on that. And their recap process goes better. And not only written. Some teachers have this like, yesterday he played football until 1 o'clock, then he watched football until 4 o'clock, and today he's feeling very bad and doesn't want to speak because like he has a sore throat, I don't know. And he goes, no, yeah. He writes very nice. Maybe he like explains расписывает super. But he doesn't say it. That's also not going to work. They want to, like sponges, they want to take something from you, not only with one skill which you are sharpening there, writing. Do you see how well can I write? No, oral and written. When you combine these two, that will be more effective. Is this? Purposeful. I would do it like correct. Purposeful error correction, not just error correction, like MS Word does, but purposeful error correction. Like we know, when you are teaching grammar, do you really correct them right away? When they are giving you, this is a very important point. those who sleep, they can wake up for a moment. When you are teaching grammar, and you are seeing them practicing, do you immediately correct or no? Why not? But we know that today, like new techniques, communication, if he is not correct, like, okay, but then you correct them. But with grammar, better to correct right away. With grammar only. Because she's practicing one thing, like, we're talking about past simple, and she said, I did go to, that's a good example. Did you went to, like, it's first lesson for 7 days? Yes, that's okay. And did you went to? It's okay. And then at home, I made an example. I said, did you went to? And he said, okay. And you, exactly, right away you changed it. With grammar, right away. When they're practicing, like, did you went to? You wanted to say, did you go to? Yes, okay. That would be better solution with grammar. Other things, you can work out. This is more about our teachers. Even with grammar, you can still convey your message, something. Like there are some teachers who want to have this thing in the end, maybe, or during the lesson, the thing, like the message, give them one message right away. Some do, some don't do. No matter what is the message, to what degree it is, I don't care. Still, with grammar, with using right good examples, you can still tell him something like 25th shot, or how do they say? Call it. That's okay, and that's in them. I think that's okay. And I think this is the last tip. Any ideas? What's going to be? That's hard. We are philologists. They are the same. They're the same. Sorry? That's simple, actually. You determine the atmosphere in the class. Like, as I told you, after football you came, not just and all the class will be. That works with all the teachers in all the topics. But when you come and you have you are in the mood, I don't know, you had a very nice conversation, you made some jokes before, yes? And you come in oh yes, come on, very engaging yourself, very into the lesson yourself, very open to the lesson yourself. Then your students, they like a mirror, actually. They act like a mirror.
Students.
Sorry?
Student and teacher.
Students act like a teacher. Which mood you have, the same action reaction, the same reaction you will have. You cannot expect you're having very sleepy and your favorite students are not yeah, I cannot believe even you are not doing today. Yes? Because you are not doing today, he can say. Yes? That's why, guys. First of all, maybe this would be I should have put it to the first tip. How you feel yourself, the same thing will happen to your students. And I have a couple of videos to, I think sorry, I think and no.
мектепті қарап отырсақ кей кезде балдарды алып кетуге болады класста негізі ұстаз қандай оқушы да сондай болады екен фундамент сол ұстаздан басталады екен ғой қазір бірінші сыныпта қай мұғалімге берсең баланың мінезі сондай болып шығады екен расымен бірінші сыныптың есіктері тұрады өзі бірінші этажда болады бірінші сыныптың балдары білетін шығарсың сол мектепте істейсіздер ғой сонда қарап тұрсам бір класстың есігі ашылды ғой есік әзер ашылды İşte balda ışık verdim. Bakın balda mı? Bak o öyle. Артынан қарасаң мұғалім ышықта тұрып жүрісте сондағы балдасың. Bir кезде бір есік сынып қала ма деп ойладым. Банан деп ашып, бүкіл бала атып шықты ғой жаңа. Артынан мұғалім шықты. Ал сен деп жүгірме! Сәбиет жүгір! Міне, ұстап бұл жаққа. Ана, қарасаң бар, тура сондай бар. Bir кезде жаңа бір сыныптың есік ашып, балдар деген, ана бастар деген потолокқа қарап шықпады. Артынан мұғалім шықты, тура сондай бар.
Yeah, this is like a support for the thing that I mentioned before, that they will just save you like a sponge and give you back the same thing. And this is not short run, this is long run thing. Like, I can see it, like I like this guy, one of the like sorted guys which I like. I mean, in Kazakhstan's show business. I see it every day in my school. Definitely you are seeing it too. But the last thing, maybe the last thing before your presentations, I would like to say is grammar is not everything. And sometimes maybe we forget it. Please don't forget that grammar is not everything. The grammar is not the core, grammar is not the skeleton, grammar is not the basis. There are some techniques where people learn grammar in the end of their course. So please don't stick very much to that grammar thing. Focus on the skills which you are supposed to teach, and for that thing, I have another video. This is also short.
Sen turistsin, rahat ol. Sen gitmişsin 10 gün falan, rahat ol be abicim. El alemin adam, yani bak hamasi konuşmuyor. Adam buraya geliyor, ne kadar Türkçe konuşuyor ki? Kralı gelse. Yani havaalanından taksiye binip şöyle konuşan bir Amerikalı gördüğüm gün...
Do you understand what he's talking about? Like he says, like why are you thinking so much about grammar? He speaks to Turkish people. Why are you thinking so much about grammar? When American people come to Turkey, what do they say? Even the kralı gelse, if the king of Turkish, the American who is the king of Turkish, if he comes here, what happens?
Aynı İngilizceyi, Almancayı, Fransızcayı, İspanyolcayı öğrenmeye söz veriyorum. Hani Amerikalı taksiye binip şunu diyebiliyor mu? Taktan gidelim birader, sahil kapalıdır.
Like, can an American sit right from the airport to the taxi and say like, let's go from the bypass because there is close, and with that Turkish accent, with very nice words, very right words to say, can they say that? No, they cannot say it. And this is his point.
Native'se al sana native. Söyleyebilir mi bunu? Kralı gelse kağıda bakarak şunu der. Çultanahmet. Çultanahmet. Çultan mı? Taksici de diyor ki o oğlanın nişanını yaptık bugün. Hadi. Lavuk da arkada diyor ki taksimetre niye disko topu gibi dönüyor diyor. Niye dönecek lan? Gramerden. Çultan olur mu? Sen ne korkuyorsun? Adam geliyor buraya diyor, Türkçe ne kadar konuşuyorlar? Ben var gelmek İstanbul'a 2 defa. Gramer nerede? Hani ne oldu? Senin o korktuğun gramer, bak adam hiç tanımıyor. Sen de ne diyorsun? Ana Steve konuştu. Ben var.
Really, our reaction for the foreigners is like this. Yes, when they come here, we say like, oh, you speak Kazakh? You said, Rahmet, I hug you. Like, this is our reaction. But we think that in the future we go to America and we're like, oh, we will face problems. But he goes on.
Gelmek, tekrar gelmek istiyor İstanbul. Onu böyle konuşuyorsun. Ne konuşuyor lan? Sıçtı batırdı halbuki. Biz onu öyle yerden yere buluyor muyuz? O zaman biz de onun gramer testine. Ben gelmek İstanbul. Steve otur lan buraya. Otur. Sen masterhanende mi geldin lan İstanbul'a? Ben var gelmek. Ne zaman, hangi zaman zarfında geldin? Geldim, geliyorum, geleceğim, gele yazdım, gelmiştim, geleydim, gelseydim. Gele arayayım. Speak Turkish, you idiot. Var mı böyle bir şey? Yok. Sen zannediyorsun orada herkes seni ezecek. Can I help you? Excuse me. Excuse me dedim ya. Kemalettin sen bunu hep yapıyorsun ya. Excuse me olacaktı ya. What did you I was past continuous. I was going to, I will mi diyeyim? Yok. I was going to, alacaktım. I was going to buy these shoes before. I haven't olunca get got olur. I haven't got the guts to buy it. I haven't got the guts to buy it. Past perfect yani hala almadım, hala da o devam ediyor. I haven't got, what? Karıştırma ne olur karıştırma şu an. I will, either mıydı? Although değil mi? Do ile başlayayım, although ile mi bitireyim? Unless olsa o sormamış olur. Neither nor yani ne yardan ne selde. Şu anı konuşalım mı? Present tense konuşalım mı? Niye zorluyorsun kendini abi? Alacağın 2 ayakkabı, bir tane sandalet. Göster elinde ya. Ne korkuyorsun? Para sende ya. Böyle yapacaksın. Orada gördün mü ponçikiyi? Ponçiyi yemek mi istiyorsun? Ya, ne var? I like to have this ponçik and the other one. Ya bırak bunları sen. Bırak. Zaten 9 tane ponçik alınca anlayacak senin İngiliz olmadığını o.
Nice jokes about grammar. So again, my message is, in future, how much grammar will we face when you are in real situations? Okay, let's now quickly, like 1 minute, listen to you, to your questions, share your ideas, and then we can go, I hope.